It is a teacher's life. And talking about a teacher's life, what was going on the ground floor of your apartment block, Ross?
Two people were cuddling and agreeing a lot.
They were cuddling?
The agreeing. She was enjoying the agreeing.
Really?
Agreeing on everything, yes.
Did you record it so we could have a soundbite?
I wish. My mic isn't that big. But you'd think after that sort of workout he'd be fine, but he's just gone into his car and he's gone to the gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you know that, by the way, that he's gone to... Did he tell you? Did he say, listen, I've just done my missus, I'm off to the gym?
Well, no,
keep her busy.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he turned around and said, I'll be back from the gym in a minute, that kind of gave it away. But I wish I could claim to be a super sleuth, but that's as far as my powers go.
So anything happening in the, or maybe as good as that in the world of Perchy? You're in the UK now, aren't you?
I am in the UK at the moment. Yes, I'm here for a week or more. So yeah, all things are good, mate.
I know it's even better that you can have a new microphone for next show, so we don't have the snap, crackle, and pop stuff. Although if snap, crackle, and pop, it's owned by Kellogg's, right?
Yeah.
We got nearly 1,000 downloads. So if you want to sponsor us, send us a few boxes. That'll be fine. You don't need to send any to Perchy because he makes all the noise anyway. All right, let's get right into, first of all, into some of the questions. We've got quite a few, which was really cool, really cool. And we'll start off with Matt Tombstone on Reddit. He asks, if you could be any dinosaur, what would it be and why?
What?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. T-Rex, isn't it?
Why?
I want the flying one. What's the flying one?
Oh,
pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
Yeah,
that's a shout.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and there's a lot of them. What they call drone things, and I think I just like the aerial view at the minute. So a bit of pterodactyl in. What about you, James?
What's the ones with like the spiky back one?
Stegosaurus.
Yeah, I'm going with that one. Just looks cool, doesn't it?
I would want to be a feathery velociraptor.
Fair enough.
You know that all dinosaurs actually did have feathers, right? And that birds that we see today are dinosaurs.
I've heard of that.
No, it's now proven. It's now it's a fact. Yeah, so that's
even the T-Rex.
All of them.
Ah.
Yeah.
See, guys.
The more you know.
So that hopefully has answered your question, Matt Tombstone. Let's get right on to the Bournemouth game. Guys, what did you think? I think we'll start off with Perchy.
Yeah. No, I thought we were brilliant. I thought we looked controlled. I think that if it finished 4-0, I think you wouldn't have looked out of place. I thought we were that good. I think it's funny, isn't it? Because all of last season we would have been saying that our biggest issues are at the back and we have no issues at the front, and it's all kind of flipped, hasn't it? I think we've got no issues now really up until the final three, which is a concern, right? I think whether we can sit there and dress up an amazing game, and it was, I think in the grand scheme of things, it was a very good result. I think we were controlled, but the fact is that front three has scored 1 goal in 3 games. I think we have to be critical on that side of things.
Have you just gone in 2-footed and negative already?
No, I'm not being negative. It's constructive. It's called constructive.
Constructive.
Yeah,
that should be the title of the show. Constructive, because you know that every podcast right now is going to be called "I'm Loving Ange" instead, right? I mean, every pod is going to be called that. So we're going to call ours constructive. Let's write that one down. How do you spell it? Constructive. Oh God, I don't need. People are going to read that and they think we're definitely dyslexic. Constructive. So why have you done a 2-footed scissor lunge on the front three? A Romero 2-footed scissor lunge.
Because I'll be honest, I think that's let's be honest, right? I mean, I thought Kulu and Son got more in the game, but we've got a glaring problem at number 9. Whether we have to be honest with it now, we can't sugarcoat it. Richarlison is the weak link in the team. Listen, I thought we were brilliant, by the way. I wanted to get this bit over with quickly because I wanted to talk about how amazing.
Sounds like you're trying to justify some gone.
No, but I am to a certain extent trying to justify it. But let's be honest, though. He had an awful game, Richarlison did. But we can gloss anything over. I thought he was awful. But the rest of the team were brilliant. By the way, I thought big shout-outs to the likes of Adoji. I thought Adoji, for that goal, by the way, for Kulizessi's goal, all the plaudits got to go for Adoji there. Absolutely brilliant. And for the first goal, I mean, the finish looked so simple by Maddison, but it was class of a finish. And Pape Matar, that pass into him was brilliant. And Basuma just before that was brilliant as well. So, where you think I'm being negative, I'm not being negative. It's being critical, but I thought there was so many more positives than negatives. But you can't not talk about Richarlison because I think you have to bring it up.
We'll talk about him in a bit. So, what do you think that the game against United was better than this one, or do you think this one was better? What do you think, Perch?
It's a good question. I think you'd always go, "Oh, beat Man United," blah blah blah. But I thought what we showed against Bournemouth just showed that it wasn't a flash in the pan, right? I think that's that's the best way to describe it. Beating United, yeah, but you could have easily completely undone all the good work of beating Man United at home by losing to Bournemouth away, right? So I think it's good. It's a good. Let's be honest. 3 games in, 7 points. Good start to the season. Really good. So yeah, you could have easily undone all the good work, and then at least we did it. And I thought we were brilliant. I genuinely thought we were brilliant. So it was a good, really, really good result.
Right, Ross, can you be a bit more positive?
That weight of pass from Sarr to Maddison for someone so young was just because you can tell it was a good pass because he scuffed it in. He'll hit better shots that go flying over, but the weight of pass was just brilliant. The click in defence between Sticky Vicky, Romero and Van der Ven, that's come on leaps and bounds, and Porro's defending's improved. Because everyone at the beginning of the season was like, he can't defend, he can't do this, he can't do that. But look at him now. Him and Adogi have transformed our fullbacks. The Richie problem, it's only a problem if, I think, give him a couple more games. I always think 5 games. Because, I mean, how many times did Kane not score in August? I think it was only a couple of seasons out of the 10 he was with us, or whatever it was, that he didn't score. Sonny does need to score as well, but the fact that Decky's off the mark will help us. And I've just looked through the top scorers in the Premier League. Only Haaland and the guy for Forest, Iwonye, I've murdered that name, as out-and-out number 9s are the only ones that have scored, I think. It's predominantly wingers.
I think, yeah, but I do get your point, but the thing is you've got to remember, like, what I would say on that, though, is more, like, if Richarlison's not scoring, I want to see what he's done in the game. I'll be honest. What did he do in the game? I thought
second half he seemed to lose his head a bit, and then I think that's when him.
Do you know what I mean? That's my worry, right? Like, listen, I've got, like, I've always say this about this. Like, Richarlison's not a goal scorer, right? He doesn't score goals, whether we like or not. His best goal output is 13 goals for Everton. So but what I do want to see is go fine. If you're not going to score goals, show me what you've got involved. Show me what you can do in the game to involve yourself in the game. And I think he's overworked. He's working too hard. He's trying his hardest, but it's a worry, right? Like look, I know you said about 5 games, and I was very much in that sort of ballpark of you've got to give him a run of games, but the manager can't keep picking him if he's not scoring goals. You can like the player, you can do whatever, but if he's not doing anything, if he's not offering anything, I saw a stat that was incredible yesterday. Maddison is 1 goal contribution away from equaling what Richarlison got since he's been at Tottenham. Let that sink in. We're not even in September, right? Just so.
Then does Richarlison have to change his mindset and think if he drops a little bit deeper and becomes a creator, A bit like when Firmino had Sane, Mane and Salah. I think he's better off doing that, because you're right, he's not an out-and-out goal scorer. I mean, he scored 5 in one season for Watford. He got 43 in 135 games for Watford, and obviously he's only got 1 goal in the league for us against Liverpool last season. So it does become concerning if other people aren't scoring, definitely.
Oh, can I dispel a myth? Sorry to interrupt, mate. So I've heard quite a few podcasts and watched a few YouTube vids after the game on Saturday. And a lot of them have said the same thing, which is that you've got to understand that Ange Postecoglou's strategy and tactics don't involve the number 9 scoring a lot of goals. Where did that come from? For instance, do any of you know who Kyogo Furuhashi is?
Yep.
How many goals did he score in Postecoglou's last season? I'll give you 1 minute, but without googling. Let's do a poll. So A is 7, B is 15, and we'll just do C, saying 35.
But he scored.
So how many goals?
He scored what, 15, didn't he?
35 goals in all competitions. And if you look back at Ange's number 9, they score goals. And the problem is that Tifo on YouTube released a video which was wrong, and they said that the number 9, all he does is press to open up gaps for the other player. Yes, that's his job, but his main job is to score. And I guarantee that Postecoglou is saying to him, you know, in the best possible way, I trust you and it's going to come, but get your head right. Get it in the same place. There was, I don't know if you lot saw it on Twitter, but there was a bit when Richarlison loses the ball and you can hear Postecoglou screaming. Have you seen that clip? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think I know.
What does he scream? What does he say to him? Like, get your fucking, get it under control? I can't actually remember, but...
I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, I heard it. But the bit I wanted to... Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the problem is when we talk about the goal scoring side things. Listen, if you're not scoring goals, do something, right? Get involved in the game. I didn't see what he done. I think, and the one when he did that skill to knock it, like try and pass the keeper, just said everything that was wrong about him at the moment. Any other moment, you go just shoot, hit it across goal, it goes in bottom left, but he doesn't. He tries to do the trick to get it past the keeper for a tap in, and then it allows their left back to get involved and block the ball. Yeah, and you're just like, you're clearly overthinking it, right? It's overthinking, but how long until he scores, right?
Well, I thought the first half he did all right. It wasn't great. Okay, it wasn't. He's not on the same level as the rest of the players. I don't know what it is. He's the only one in the starting 11 that doesn't seem to be getting it, right? But that can be down to a multitude of things. Maybe there's stuff going on in his life that we're not privy to, and it's just really affecting him. And Angie's saying, you know, he's going to stick with him because obviously there's no one else other than Dane Scarlett. I mean, we can talk about Brennan Johnson, I think, with the early podcast, who's called him by his actual name and not Brendan. But we can maybe talk about Brennan Johnson in a bit. But there is no alternative, right? And we don't know what's going on right now. As I said, in the first half, he played all right. Not great. It wasn't at the same... It literally wasn't at the same level. And if you picture this, right, there's 2 different levels. There's a lower level. There's one player. And then the other 10 are on a higher level. And the one on the low level was Richarlison for me. And he has been all season. So sooner or later, he's going to have to try and get onto the other level. In the second half, though, I don't know what happened, but he wasn't at the races. Not for me, anyway. I thought that the players played really well. I thought this was the best game of the season, and I think the more games that we're playing, the more that we're going to see the Postecoglou effect come into play. So that's obvious. You're going to start to see a lot more passes, especially when you have players creating various partnerships. And you're sort of seeing that around the pitch. But for some reason, when it comes to Richarlison, I'm not seeing the partnerships there. Do you know what I mean? It's like his first touch seems to be a tackle at the moment. And as I said, we don't know why. But I think have we covered the game enough, do you think? I mean, we've gone for 15 minutes. I mean, in that 15 minutes, we've figured out that Ross has raunchy neighbours, and we're going to sort out the snap, crackle and pop issue on Perchy's mic. But I think, look, the game was great. We won 2-0. I think there's a lot more to come, and especially on the partnerships thing. And can we talk about Brennan Johnson then?
Yeah, go on. Let's talk about it.
So I'll be honest. I've seen Forest play twice since they've been in the Premier League. And he was never a player that stood out for me. To be fair, I was probably on my phone while the game was going on, so I wasn't looking out for him. Do you know what I mean? It's the Gibbs White player that everyone was raving about that I was sort of looking at. And again, I didn't think he was amazing. I did see the game against Manchester United, and I thought Gibbs White was good. I didn't see all of it though. So the bits I did see, Gibbs White was great. I didn't hear Brennan Johnson's name once. Was he playing? I don't know. What do you guys think of him?
With what Brennan Johnson, I would suggest he's a bit of a one-trick pony, but what he is a one-trick pony is exactly the opposite of what Kulusevski is as a one-trick pony. So he's the opposite of that. The money is balmy that's been touted for this kid. I think it's way over the price tag, but the likes of Brentford, the likes of Chelsea are knocking at the door for him and are happy to pay that sort of money. So listen, it's a hard one, isn't it? The manager wants him. If the manager wants him, I'm happy. If the manager signed off with it, I'm okay with it. But it's a bit underwhelming, right? I think that's the key one. I think the word underwhelming is the right word to put for it. But listen, I'm not massively going to die on a hill against it. But yeah, that's my only concern.
Ross, what do you think, mate?
I think it's worth a gamble. I've got a fellow Forest fan who does his Simpsons account, and I was talking to him about it yesterday, and he said that he can play as a 9 as much as a right winger. He's a bit like a right-sided Rashford, but he's Welsh, so I think with the British kind of tax, as people called it, that's why he's 50 million, because he's homegrown. And that's going to be that'll be a big bonus as well, because I think we're okay for homegrown, but it's quality homegrown. And we also don't know who's going to be leaving this week. But no, with Johnson, he's really quick. He's really direct. He seems to be very much a Ange type forward. It depends what happens with Sonny. Because my feeling is with Son, if he starts the game as the number 9 or the top of that 3, he has a better game for some reason. I think about the game away to Man City in the Champions League run. I think he started up top in the Etihad game, and he had a really storming game. And there's been a few of them as well, where when he started the game as the number 9, he's been perfect. So I'm wondering if Johnson just fills in that gap, or and just seen something and he's gone, right, I think I can turn him into a really good number 9. But as Perchy said, if Ange just signed off on it, who are we to question it?
Well, so what Ange is great at is spotting talent, and I'm not making this up. I've just heard it from other pods that and it's a few players who have said it, that he's very, very good at spotting talent, especially in Asia. And so I don't think we should feel underwhelmed. You know, if we go and sign a player for, let's say, 7 million from the Japanese league, I can't remember what the Japanese league is called. In fact, I don't think so. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever known what it's called. So
the J League.
Oh, is it? Of course it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So if we go and sign a player who no one has ever heard of from the J League, and he turns out, you know, after a few months, he turns into some fantastic player, then I don't think we should feel a bit disheartened. I know it's only been 3 games in, but I think this man has earned our trust. I mean, he's earned Robbie Williams' trust. And so we just need to go with it. And as I said, Brennan Johnson, I was watching the game against Manchester United, and I don't remember him having a great game. In fact, I was sort of trying to look out for him, and I don't remember him doing anything to any effect. Did he actually do anything? Am I talking rubbish in that game? He didn't score, did he?
No, he had a couple of runs. I did try to keep a beady eye out on him. He just looked like he made a really good, but then I only saw the highlights, so you're not really seeing if he's doing it. He looks like a real hard worker, though.
He's got a lot of pace, hasn't he? That's the key one here, really.
Yeah.
I think that he's a very, very fast player. The only thing is the only negative I will put out on it is that necessarily now where what he will be good at is if we ever need to hit on the counter, which we don't play that way anymore, but what you have is you've got an outboard then, right? Like, when you're playing against him and you want to hit on the counter, you've got a player that can do that, right? We haven't really got energy in that front three. That's the thing, one of the key worries that we've had for a while, is there's not a lot of legs in that attacking three. If you get him in, he will offer that, right? So, I mean, that's the sort of positive spin on it, right? I mean, he's a very, very fast player, so you've got a little bit of something different there, but why are we stockpiling on wingers again? I mean, we'll have 3 in each side if we get him in.
But is he a winger?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Right-sided winger, mate.
Yeah, I know that's where he's playing right now. But
he's always played. Well, he's played down the middle as well in patches, but I wouldn't say that is his #1 position, if that makes sense.
I don't know, mate. All I know is that we've just got to trust this guy. You know, I'm talking about the boss. We just got to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I don't believe that he would sanction a £50 million. That's a lot of money, by the way. Ridiculous. That's a lot of money, and I don't think he'd sanction it. And I saw on Twitter when people were saying it's going to be a club signing. They don't know Daniel Levy at all. We'd never spend £50 million on a club signing. That ain't happening. I mean, was that a club signing?
Well, James, I'll be honest. This is the club signing line. I'll say it now.
I suppose they're all club signings, right? I mean, it's not like
that's exactly what I say. I said whenever I hear, oh, he's a club signing, isn't every single player in? Because if that was the case, why is Perchy still in?
Yeah, I know, but what people are referring to as club signing, I think this came up with that interview with Parmesan Pulis, where he was trying to get at was that this wasn't a player that was on his list to make a difference. This was a player that was bought as an asset to then sell on at a later date, hopefully improve and sell on for a lot more money. That's
we're not selling Brennan Johnson for loads more than £50 million, right?
Well, we don't know.
I get it.
Well, we don't know, do we?
But I'd get it if it was my point being is let's be honest. In 5-6 years' time, let's just say hypothetically, what is he? We now all of a sudden say he's going to be worth £150 million. I'm just spouting here. But I'd get it if it was a 10 million. I agree to a certain extent, Ross, but let's be honest, I don't think I would be absolutely. I think the club would be absolutely mad if we're thinking that that's how it works, right? Listen, I think we have to be realistic. Listen, I have my opinions on the ownership of this club, but I don't think that would be the one that we would do. Like, that's not where I would see it going. If we go and sign Brennan Johnson, I would be, and they're saying, oh, it's because this, and then we'll know, because if he doesn't play him right, but the manager can't be at a stage where he goes, nah, I don't want this guy. Like, why would you be spending £50 million on a player? I get it if it's an academy player, right? We're bringing a player that's 16 from, I don't know, Sheffield United from their academy, and we've touted them, they've come into the academy. I get all that. Not for someone that's £50 million that's going to be in your first team. For £50 million, you expect him to start every week, right?
Yeah, he probably will do. If we get him, if the deal's done, we probably will do. I wasn't too pleased to hear that Sanchez might be part of the deal, though. Because if that's the case, and it looks like, why? I mean, if that's the case, and it looks like Dyer won't play another second again, I don't think Sanchez has been awful this season when he's played. So I'll tell you something about Sanchez, right? And then Roshi can come in. Sanchez is the type of player that he makes mistakes, right? He's just one of those. You must have worked with people who make mistakes all the time. Thing is, when given the time and the space, he can rectify those mistakes. The problem under Conte, especially Mourinho, was that we were playing such a low block, it was a minus block, that he had no space and no time to correct his mistakes. Okay, but under Poch, he does have that. He does have that luxury, and he's also got some belief now. Is he 27? I think so. He's sort of coming into his prime, and I'd love to see him in his prime under Postecoglou. Did I say Poch, by the way? You've got to start correcting me. Postecoglou. Sorry, he's coming into his prime, and if he can come into his prime under Postecoglou, then fantastic. And I wouldn't want to see him I wouldn't want. I mean, I did last year. I didn't want to see him anywhere near our club. Still supported him when he played, never booed him or anything. But that'd be weird, right? Booing from your couch. I bet there are weirdos who do that. But that's what I mean. I think that he shouldn't be a make weight. And if he does go, then we definitely need to go and sign another centre back.
No, I agree with that. I agree. Like, you don't get rid of him if you don't bring someone else in. But for me, if he shrinks the deal to halfway and it's a £25 million deal with Sanchez going the other way, you've got to do it, right? I mean, but I do agree with what you're saying though. Is that if that's the case, then I would expect another centre half to come in. I mean, whether we like it or not, and I mean the bar is so low, he is the third best centre half in the club right now. Whether we like it or not, I mean, I can't stand the idea of it, but the reality of it is we've got some very, very bad centre backs in our squad right now, and he's the third best one, which says it all. Listen, but it's one of those. If it's part of the deal, but the deal shrinks the deal by half, then yeah, go for it. But that means you still got to go and buy another centre half.
Right. So, do you think it's going to happen, this deal? Actually, I think we should wait for the Ross report, which is coming in a bit.
Oh yes, we like the Ross report.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. You've got a great jingle, by the way, for it. So I have to try and work that. How we're going to work that one in.
The last thing is, I would say, we all know that Andrew's come out, especially he got interviewed by Sky. I think it was after the Man U game. He said, "Look, nothing is going to go through transfer-wise without me saying so." So
yeah,
we've got to trust him, I think, and it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. Levy cannot ruin a great chance of giving this lovely Australian guy what he needs. He's not going to get everything he needs because it's one transfer.
Greek guy, sorry. I mean, you have to correct yourself. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Thanks.
So this lovely Greek guy, edit that. Got to give him what he needs and what we can give him. If that's a couple of defenders, go get them. If it means waiting for Ivan Toney, who I don't really rate, but that's my opinion, then wait till January. That's fine, but don't waste this chance, please, Daniel. If you're listening.
He won't be. Donna might be. But I by the way, Perchy, what was all that saying that I love Donna Maria Cullen on your stream?
I'm just saying she came on my stream and she was in the chat. I just said
that wasn't really the Donna. It wasn't really the Don. It wasn't Don.
I'm just saying. Donna Marie Cullen donated to my stream. That's the name. I've got to take it on face value.
Hold on. Her name was Donna Marie.
No, it's just Donna Cullen on it. But it said on. It just said on. I just said no. Jaymes from the Hotspur Way podcast loves you. Make sure you check it out. Hey, it's just publicity, you know.
No, fair enough. Like, I think we can talk about like ins and outs in the midweek pod. I've just sprung that on the guys, everyone. They didn't know we might do a midweek pod, but because we're playing on Tuesday, that's why we're recording now, and so I think that it's good for us to do a look back at the Fulham game. Hopefully, we've won it, and then a look forward to who are we playing on the weekend.
Burnley.
Turf Moor. At Turf Moor. Two away games, or three away games if you include the cup game.
3 away games back to back.
Wow, okay.
Improved coach needed as well, by the sound of things.
Why?
Didn't you hear what happened to the Aston Villa coach?
Oh, yeah, that was mad, weren't it?
It got a brick through it from... It only got, I say attacked, but it got done up by a load of...
What, did that...
fans.
Oh, okay, because if you've been to Aston, it's an absolute shithole. I mean, shithole is paradise compared to what Aston is. So if it happened in Aston, fair enough. That's like day-to-day, stuff that happens. But
all those fans from Ashton have all just completely switched off right now. We do love you if you're from Ashton.
I like that you call them Ashtonites. I mean, it's Aston. There's no H in it, but I mean, you can carry on calling it Ashton if you want. I do know a friend called Ashton. Maybe he's listening. Hi, Ashton. We apologise for Perchy's behaviour towards you and your name. But let's talk about Big Ange and the effect that he's had on people. Now, I think you must have heard the Robbie Williams song. So it's what it is. We had who was it on Twitter that first did it? I can't remember, but there's a who was it?
Jaymes Black, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Yeah. So Jaymes Black, he was at the stadium, wasn't he, when he did it?
Yeah, well, he's the guitar guy.
Yeah, but
he's the guitar guy. Yeah,
he was right. So he was at the stadium, and I mean, you've all heard it, so you know it. It's a version of Angels by Robbie Williams, and then Robbie Williams yesterday surprised us all by doing it as well. And he's on tour, so he doesn't really have much time. So well done to him. So that was great, and apparently he's a Spurs fan now. So well done, poor Port Vale. I mean, Spurs are the, as Max Rushton says, the big club who wins stuff. I don't know why Max Rushton would ever say that, because he does support Spurs and Cambridge, and Spurs. I think Cambridge have won more in the last few years than Cambridge have. So I'm not too sure where he gets that from. Max, you can let us know if you're listening. And so it's not just Robbie Williams. We're then seeing his behaviour on TNT. Like, he had Peter Crouch and Joe Cole in stitches. Like, were you guys watching it? Like, and me as well. Like, I was watching it live when it was happening. Yeah. And when the guy lifted up his polo shirt, he said, what did he say to him? You could have, I don't know. He said something really funny. Like, you know, at least ask me out, you know, before you touch me like that. And then it was when he asked him about the inverted fullbacks. It was a great dig at Gary Neville, where he said, you know, I'm just copying Pep, mate. And today I had an Arsenal fan, it's a client actually, and he messaged me. Do you want me to read to you what he said? I'll read it directly. So this is the bit where there's dead air and you two have to fill in some space while I try and look for this message. Over to you guys.
No, we'll let you suffer. No.
Yeah, well, it's not me. It's the listeners who are suffering. Okay, so I mean, this is production values here are through the roof. So his name is Evagoras, and I'll read you what he said. So, by the way, really envious of Spurs getting Ange. Guy is already a cult hero. Then he sent me an image where it's the I'm just copying Pep, mate. I'll zoom in. Ange Postecoglou on Tottenham playing with more freedom via TNT Sports. And anyway, we had a conversation about this. Evagoras is a mad Arsenal fan. I watched the game where we destroyed them, not last season, the season before, 3-0 at home. At Chester's in Limassol, if anyone's been there, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. The way that he just collapsed, like his team. And so for him to say something like that is fantastic. And it's not just Arsenal fans who are sitting up and taking notice. It seems to be everyone. First of all, we see the players sitting up and taking notice, the fans, and now it's everyone else. So where do you think this Ange train is going?
To the Premier League title, my friend. We're winning it all under Ange Postecoglou. There, I said it.
We're going to win the Effinnn league.
No, we're winning the treble. We're winning the treble. We're doing it undefeated. Ange Postecoglou is going to have a giant statue built outside of White Hart Lane. And then we're all going to be talking in Australian with our hats with the corks on and the kangaroos everywhere. Yeah, it's all going to be a great party because Ange Postecoglou is winning it all for the plucky Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, there you go. Said it. No, but on an absolutely serious level though, I think, do you know what? I mean, this is everything that the Celtic mob told us, right? I got told on my streams when we were linked with him, they were going, "You're going to love this guy. Just give it a month and you'll love it." I live off every word this man says. I think he talks so well, and he talks like your mate down the pub, but you trust everything this man says, right? I think when he talks, there's none of the BS. There's no smoke and mirrors. It's just right, you know.
And not just that, as I tweeted on our account, that's at Hotspur Way Show on Twitter or X. Actually, I'm going to call it Twitter until they change the actual domain name. So on Twitter.
They have changed the domain name now, haven't they? It's x.com.
No, I'm on twitter.com looking at the account.
They've kept twitter.com, but it's now x.com.
So not only is he all of these great things rolled into one, but the man knows a thing or two about winning football games. Do you know what I mean? Like Harry Redknapp I'm talking about, could probably still do a job. But it's true when he said it, just go out there and fucking run around a bit. That's what he said. I don't think Postecoglou would ever say, go out there and fucking run around a bit. He wouldn't do that. You know, there is structure, there's direction in what he wants. There's a whole plan. And his philosophy is going through to these players. So we've got the complete manager. Can you imagine, though, if we win the league with this guy? Guys, everyone, just close your eyes a minute. And we're coming to the end of the season. And this is where, again, I have to go to TottenhamHotspur.com. Are your eyes still closed? Matches. Let's see. So we're coming to the end of the season. Come on. This analogy is going to the dogs, right? Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur. I'm just trying to figure out when the last day of the season is. And I'm not getting anywhere with this, which is fantastic.
It's 26th of May, right?
No, I wouldn't know. So 26th of May. So it's the last game of the season. Here we go. I've got it here. So let's go to here and we go to fixtures.
Haven't we got like a tricky run in or something?
No, the end of the last
right.
5 or 6 games.
Okay. So guys, everyone close their eyes a minute. Now, and listen to this. We are neck and neck with City. And we play them at home on Saturday, the 20th of April, unless that probably game will be changed to a Sunday. But let's just say 20th of April comes along. And they are 2 points behind us. So we're top. In the last minute, they win the game 1-0. And they go 1 point ahead of us. The next game, where everyone has now written us off and the Arsenal fans are laughing their asses off, we play Arsenal at home on the 27th of April. And we absolutely wallop them. City draw. We then play on the 4th of May against Liverpool at Anfield. We win 2-1. City have won again, so they're right on our tails. Saturday the 11th of May, 5 o'clock. So it's our last home game of the season against Burnley. We relegate them, we win 7-0. And then we go up to Sheffield United. And we don't just have the Premier League in sights, but we want to relegate 2 fucking teams. We relegate them by winning 4-0. And we win the Premier League title at, what's Sheffield United Stadium called? I should know it.
Bramall Lane.
Bramall Lane. After all these years, we lift the Premier League title at Bramall Lane on the 19th of May at nearly 9 o'clock. No, 6. The game starts at 6 with added time, 8:30. How do you feel? Can you see it?
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna be
Were your eyes closed during all of that?
James,
yes.
I love it. I love the optimism, and I genuinely do. But we're nowhere near winning the Premier League right now.
We've been hurt before.
We've never had this manager before, guys. We haven't had James Maddison before. It's possible. Start believing. All of you start believing. Until it's not possible.
James, how about this? How about this? Come back to the pod on the last week of March, and we're still top of the league. Then I'll go, do you know what? It's time to believe. But let's be honest, we haven't even got to September yet. We've played 3 games of football.
I'm going to go earlier. Come back on the 6th of November, which is a Monday, or Tuesday, which is the 7th. I believe that because there's no fanning around with the World Cup and all that jazz. Well,
6th of November. Sorry to interrupt, but 4th of November we play Chelsea at White Hart Lane.
Exactly. So we do a pod normally on a Monday and Tuesday. So on the 7th of November, if we are still around top 3, I'll start believing then.
Guys, we're gonna win. We're gonna win the effing league. I don't understand. You didn't close your eyes. If any of you have closed your eyes and been through that, and you had visualized my words, we're gonna win it. Because, okay, I'm going a bit early. we can win it. We can win the league.
I mean,
okay.
Everton can.
Everton cannot win the league. No. But I'm not talking about technicalities. Everton can't even. Everton can't even afford to put seats in their new stadium. They can't win the league. Not even technically.
35 of their last 35 games, they'll win the league. This is
that ain't ever gonna happen. That will never ever happen. Ever.
Yeah.
I'll eat a shoe. I'll eat my greatest Nike pair of trainers. Both of them. Yeah, with gravy, if that happens. That ain't happening this season, right? So
can I just say, I kind of want it to happen just for this to be the first live stream on YouTube of the Hotspur Way podcast of you eating a shoe caked in gravy. I kind of want it to happen.
I'll eat both of them.
2 of them.
Yeah, and I'm size 12. I've got huge feet. So you'll have to take me to the hospital later. I don't have to. I'll tell you what. I'll eat your shoes as well because it ain't happening. Everton are not winning the league this season, right?
Oh, I know.
So not even on a technicality. But I told you last week. Belief is an amazing word. Okay, it's one of the most powerful words in the English dictionary, in not just the English dictionary, but in most dictionaries. Because when you start to believe, it doesn't matter how good you think you are. Okay, people might put you on a certain level and you're 7 levels above it. And it doesn't matter. As soon as this window closes and we have a settled squad and we know who's in and who's gone, then we can go ahead and win the league. And wow, if we win the league, oh my goodness me. I mean, other podcasts have said, they're done and they won't post again. Oh, fuck me, we'll go into overdrive. We'll do a pod every day if we go and win the league. It's something that we have to believe that we can do, and I guarantee that maybe not right now, but maybe by November, Ross is right, the management team, if we're up there in the top 3, they are telling them, guys, these are the next games that are coming up. Can you feel it? Can you feel that energy? Can you see us winning that trophy and shutting all of them up? And that's what he's great at. That underdog story, you spoke about this last week. The way that he gets players and everyone around him going. And imagine working with that guy. God, I would love it if I could work with someone like that. And that's probably what he's saying to them. Maybe not right now. But we'll get there. If we're there or thereabouts come November, and we've got some targets in place for January, which we know we'll probably end up signing, which will really help us, hopefully boost us, we can win this league. And that's all I'm going to say. And I don't care if anyone clips it. Maybe don't have enough listeners for people to clip it. But even if they do and we end up 7th or 8th, I don't care. Because right now, this is how I feel. The guy has made me believe. And I didn't think that I didn't believe that I would be like this at this point in this season. Looking back, if I take myself back to March, and I reposted some of the stuff, some of the tweets, turgid Tottenham, rubbish Tottenham, I'm so sick of this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, guys, these are the tweets just a few months ago. Look at where we are today. What a difference. So we just need to take that belief, wrap it up, sit on it, and off we go. I think it's time for the Ross report. Right, so that's where the jingle would have gone. I'm going to edit that bit out. Ross. The Ross report is you talking really fast for 60 seconds. I hope you prepared something. Where you give us all of the ITK information, maybe like 5 minutes ITK information rolled into 60 seconds. Of course, none of us are ITK, so what Ross is doing is for fun reasons. Over to you. Are you ready?
I was born a couple of days late. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Cue the jingle. The Ross Report.
Tango Ndombele is set to leave. It seems like the Big Daddy Ange's confirmed it, but Gio is to stay. PSG have been following Tanguy for the last few years, and Verratti, who looks like he's been going to Saudi Arabia, could be the make weight. It looks like it's unlikely we're going to sign a new striker. Reggie has interested United, but they've interested in a few left backs because all their left backs are dying. And Spence to Leeds on loan sounds like a good deal. Done.
And that was the Ross report. Now, what do you believe any of that?
I believe the first two bits where Tanguy will leave. I'd be surprised if PSG really want him, but then again, I'm surprised with everything PSG do. Gio Lo Celso to stay, yeah, why not? He came on and did alright briefly against Bournemouth, and I'm getting a new striker, and it's looking less and less likely, which is a shame. But look, if it's not going to be Gift Orban or something like that, then I'm hearing so many people go, well, we should sign a striker. Who should we sign? Because it's so easy to say we need A, B and C, but all right, name them. Name all of these players that you want us to sign. Yeah. Because I said it to someone the other day, and they backtracked so far, I almost fell out of the flat. It was like, oh yeah, well that's not my job. That's not my job, is it? You know, it's this. Well, if Vlahovic doesn't fit our system, and I'm standing by that. I don't care who shouts at me, unless it's my dad. And then, apart from that, you are trying to unearth gems, and then we're almost falling into the Janssen Soldado kind of realms where we're putting hopes on players, and every transfer comes with its I don't know, I suppose bar Haaland and Mbappe and Messi, you're not going to get a guarantee anymore, and you don't know if players are going to settle or anything like that. Reggie to United, that would be weird. That would be really weird. But I think Spence to Leeds makes sense. He seems to be a championship player with a slightly championship attitude, so that's my interpretation of it all. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, Andre Cook on Reddit asked, realistically, what do you think is truly holding up the Gift Orban signing? So where you said where is a striker, there's one right there. Perchy, what do you think? What's holding up the Gift Orban signing?
It can only be that the manager doesn't really want him, right? Or doesn't want him. I think from what I'm reading is that a striker is, unless something changes in the next few days, we're not going to sign a striker. The only thing with the Orban one is I think the only thing it could spark is on deadline day on Friday. That with if Ghent qualify for the Europa Conference League, they want to keep him until then. Let's see. That'll be the only thing I think for him. Let's see. But I don't know. I'm gutted because I want to give Orban big time.
All right. I think that if we really wanted him, we would have got him, because it's quoted at 30 million. I understand the reservations, because 30 million in the Premier League isn't a lot of money, but in real life, 30 million pounds. Do you know what I could do with 30 million pounds? And what all of us could do with that sort of money? You know, and even giving 10% of it away to charity, it's still 27 million. I mean, that's still unbelievable amounts of money. So to spend 30 million pounds on a player that has had 2 seasons in professional football, yeah, that's a bit worrying. But I do believe though. Yeah, but we need a striker.
I know, but I think 30 million for someone unproven. As I said,
but we're paying 50 million pound for Brennan Johnson. It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, but he's Premier League.
Is he? Yeah, but we have a chance. Premier League experience, and he's crap. So it's like, crap. Oh yeah,
who's crap? Sorry, I was on Reddit.
Oh no, just saying, using the Premier League experience as a part to sort of as your argument. I could name you tons of Premier League experienced strikers that are absolutely pony. Like if you're gonna go, if you're gonna go and sign a striker and you want that is gonna get you goals, you go and buy Taiwo, wouldn't you, right, from Forest? Because I think he's the real deal. I like him a lot, big time. But yeah, with the Orban one, everything about Orban, he scores it at every single level he's played at. Right, that's the key bit. He's not in there. He's absolutely showing up that league, right? That's how you know this player's good. He's not getting 10 or 15 goals. This kid's getting 30, right? He's on course for some big numbers.
I don't know about that. Look, all I know is that if you keep Richarlison, who is the only recognised striker at the club, and you don't have someone who is hungry and eager and wants to dislodge him to prove not just to the whole world but to himself that I can be the number 9 of Tottenham Hotspur and I can lead the line, then we've got a problem. We've got a problem, because if it comes to the point where we don't have a recognised striker who can play the Ange system and score goals, and Richarlison gets injured, forget the fact that he might not be playing well, but then gets injured, and then we've got an injury, let's say to Son, what do? We put Scarlett in there. That's sort of like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. But is he ready? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he'll have to be thrown into the deep end, him or Scarlett. But then again, is that the kind of planning that a team who hopefully on the 19th of May, it is the 19th of May, right? I gave a whole speech about it earlier. Is it the 19th of May are hopefully going to win the Premier League? Is that the kind of planning the big boy clubs do? I'll answer my own question. Absolutely not. They don't. And even with Haaland at City, let me just finish this. Even with Haaland at City, they've still got, is it Alvarez? Yeah. What a player he is. I'll take him in a heartbeat. What an absolute brilliant player he is. Okay, and so we have to plan properly. And the fact that Ange says that he knew from the first conversation he had with Kane that Kane was going to go because he wanted a new challenge, then I'm pretty sure he would have said to Levy, well, you know, because he's going to go, obviously I'll take a look at Richarlison, obviously I will, but here's my list of targets I would like the club to look at. Because Ange has been around for a long time and he knows players. I don't believe for one second he just said, we're fine with an 18-year-old who probably is a club signing from Argentina. At Scarlett, yeah, he'll be all right, and I can just put Perisic on the left or Solomon on the left, and Son can be up front. There is no fucking way that Ange Postecoglou said that in any meeting. Absolutely none. And if we've got the stadium and we've got the game-changing stadium, we've got the best training complex in the world, so we're sort of attempting to look like we're a big boy club, then we need to start acting like one. And this is when you speculate. We have the money. We've had the time. You know, it's not like a day before Kane left we found out and we didn't know and then we had to accept and you know, now we're scrambling trying to find a striker. We've known for a while since Kane came back, 12th of July, right? 28th of August now. And we don't have another striker. It's worrying. It's very, very worrying. And it's worrying for me because we're not acting like a fucking big club. And that is what bothers me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think we have to go. We should be getting a striker in. But listen, I'll be devil's advocate on this part. If the one we want isn't available, then I'd happily wait it for 6 months. Maybe this in 6 months, or a few months, whatever it is.
So it might be Tony then, right? Might be
even Tony.
I really rate him. I really rate him. I think Ross. I think what we've got to do when I come over to the UK, I'll sit with you and we'll rewatch some Brentford games and I'll show you. He is a very, very good player playing in a low block, mid block team, and he scores a hatful of goals in a team that can create chances like ours. God knows what he could do. That's all I'm going to say about him.
With Tony, it's an attitude thing. That's the only. I saw his interview he did. I don't know what the podcast is, but he was talking about the ban, and he seemed just to be blaming everyone else bar himself. And sometimes you can just pick up on these things. And if in Ange's shoes, he seems to like to. Because I think when we signed Van der Ven and who else have we bought? Vicario. He spoke to them beforehand and he got good vibes and all that. And he also spoke to Maddison, obviously. I just wonder with Ivan Toney. I don't know. For me, I would stay clear of him. But it's all about opinions. And if we buy him and he gets a bucket load of goals, I will happily eat your other shoe.
Well, let's listen to what Josh THFC Aussie_Spurs on Twitter asks. Would Callum Wilson be a viable strike option for Spurs? Currently sits on the bench for Newcastle and certainly has an eye for goal. Early's injury record worries me a bit. Perchy, what do you think? Callum.
Who's that? Say Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson. Yeah, that's going to go down like a lead balloon, isn't it, in the football club? Yeah, let's put. Imagine just having Richarlison and Callum Wilson in training together. Would be quite fun, wouldn't it?
What, you don't think Callum Wilson could score goals for us?
No, nothing about him. I think he's a good player, but after everything that happened in the summer, I don't think Callum Wilson and Richarlison in the same team is the right thing to do at the moment. Do you know what happened?
What?
Right?
I vaguely remember. What? Remind everyone.
So Mikel Antonio and Callum Wilson.
Oh, they did the podcast or something, right?
Doing a live podcast, basically saying, "Oh, Spurs need to sign a new number 9. This guy's rubbish." Blah blah blah. And Richarlison responded back something like, I can't remember whatever it was, and was pissed off basically. Saying, "Oh no," they said, "I'm not going to shake either of their hands," or something like that. So yeah, so I don't think Callum Wilson's probably going to be like. I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Did he really? You know what? That's the kind of those are the massive stone balls we need at our club. Yeah, bring him in. Yeah. And moving on,
I don't know.
Gilflover _69 on Reddit asks, how much money would it take for you to eat a large live rat? You'd really be surprised by how much you'll find out about a person from this question. Ross, how much money would it take? A large live rat. Now, I'll give you some context. I've had pet rats. The reason I had pet rats, just to let everyone know, is I got a Burmese albino python in 2004. And in Cyprus at the time, you couldn't give them frozen food. They just have live food. And when I saw what happened to one of the rats, when the Burmese python ate it, I then gave the Burmese python back, kept the rats, and they're amazing pets. So, Ross, how much money would it take for you to eat a large live rat?
Just looking up some numbers. How much did
It's the size of a large live rat is the size of a keyboard, a PC keyboard with the tail.
I'm sure about the size. How much did Neymar go to PSG for? Was it 200 million euros?
225, I think.
Double that. About double that.
So 550 million.
Yes.
Fair enough. Perchy, how much would it take? A microphone and you're done.
Is the rat clean in the sense of like it's?
Rats are extremely clean animals. Oh, if you mean disease. Well, Gilflover _69 doesn't say that, but because he's got 69 in his name, then the rat might have an STD.
Do you know what? I mean, that's going to up the ante. That's the problem. Like, my point being here is, if it's not going to, does it kill me if I eat this thing?
He doesn't say it. That's the risk you've got to take.
Then it's going to cost. I'm going to go triple what Neymar's getting paid. Screw that.
What Neymar's getting paid? How much is he getting paid? It was at 2,000 a second. What was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I want to be paid 6,000 a second.
6,000 a second for the rest of your life.
Yeah, 6,000 a second for the next 5 years, and then I'll do it. Deal.
How many seconds in? Did you say 5 years?
In 5 years, yes. There you go.
I got a number one. How many seconds does a year have? 31 million. 1 minute. Let me just work this out for you, and then we can. We're nearly wrapping this show up. We'll talk about Fulham in a minute. This times 5 equals 15 what? Wow, that's a big number. 157. 1 minute. 157,680,000 seconds times how much, mate? How much is Neymar getting? 6,000.
No, he said he gets paid 2,000.
So you want 6? Oh, you're nearly at a billion. No, you are. No, you are. You are at. No, you're at. Yeah, you're at a billion. 946 billion. You're the richest man on earth. 946 billion.
There you go. I'll eat a wrap for that. There you go. Put all the money in the pot. I want it verified in there, and I'll do it.
Well, I will never ever eat any live animal. I don't care how much money it would take. I don't have any kids right now. If I soon, hopefully. if one of them was, if someone put it to me and said, you know, your kid either lives or dies, I would eat it, but only for a reason like that. Mac Lee Moore on Reddit asks, would you rather have, this is a really good question, would you rather have an Ndombele redemption arc or a Dele redemption arc? Let's say the club didn't sell him, and given the redemption arc is guaranteed. Good question.
Well, that's easy.
I know, I think so as well. Good question, Mac Lee Moore. Go on, Ross.
Oh, if I could get Dele back today, I would happily drive him back to White Hart Lane. I miss the boy.
Arc or not, right? Even redemption arc or not, I would have him back. I would.
In a heartbeat. I mean, everyone saw the interview. Everyone's heart poured out to him, and you know, well done to Everton as well for looking after him. But oh god, yeah. I mean, as a sort of shadow to Maddison as well on the footballing side, it's great. It'd just be great, and to have him back in. And Postecoglou looking after him. Could you imagine that? The guy would just be happy for life. And it would just be... Now, yeah, I would... And Ndombele, unless there's something going on in a kind of Dele way, where there's something behind the scenes that we're not knowing of, he comes across so mundane and solemn and uninterested. And there does come a point where you just go, right, just get rid of him, please. He's not helping anyone. He's not helping himself. So... yeah, I don't know what Perchy thinks.
For me, what I suggest is, well, if I was picking out the two, Dele Alli, because Ndombele has at least Dele Alli's done something at this football club. But
Dele, not Dele Alli, just Dele. We know why we don't call him Ali.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, but for me, yeah, it is what it is. Like, I wouldn't have him back. Because I don't think it's the right thing for him. I don't think him coming back listen, that's all sentimental stuff. I'm trying to not be that sentimental guy, but I just think for me, good luck to him. Listen, as long as he's happy. I want him to be happy though. That's the one thing I do. He deserves happiness, and I hope after, big up to him by the way for the interview, by the way. Like, before anything else, mad respects to that interview, because that was top draw.
He's going to be happy back at Tottenham.
Will he though?
Yep.
Tottenham was one part of the problem though. We were part of the problem. So let's remember that. We were, as a football club, we clearly didn't help this kid in the right way. We didn't.
I don't think Mourinho helped him either.
No. I actually don't think it's Mourinho. I think I can't believe I'm sitting there defending Jose Mourinho here, but I think as a football club, by allowing and commissioning the Amazon Prime stuff the way that we did, it's an absolute disgrace. I don't care. I'll say how it is. The fact that, as he said, they cut bits out to make it into a pantomime as they did. He said, "Oh yeah, no." Jose came up to me a few days later and said, "No, I'm sorry. No, you've proven it to me, and I apologise. I should not have said that." Funny how that bit gets cut out because it's not good television, right? Sorry, ran over, but yeah, as a football club, we let him down.
Yeah, I think it wasn't just a football club. He let himself down as well. I mean, his family were begging him to seek help, and he didn't. And I think just the whole thing was a vicious circle. But for me, I would love him back. Now, let's talk about the Hotspur Way match prediction league. That went really, really well. None of us got it. We did have one person only. Piet Snot at Piet Snot 1111 on Twitter. He told us that we would win, that Bournemouth would score 1, Spurs would score 4. He listed the scorers. No, none of those scorers. He said Richarlison scored 2, Lo Celso 1, Udogie 1. No, I can't believe no one took this seriously. One person only. So I'll re-say the rules. If you get the score right, you get 3 points. It's 3 points, right? And you get 2 points. In fact, I've actually got it on. I've got the post here. So you get, if you go to Reddit, you can find it there. Hotspur Way Match League or Match Predictions League. I spelled league wrong and now I can't edit it. Brilliant, James. So rules. You get 3 points for getting the score right. You get a further 2 points for naming the Spurs player or players who score. Come 1st of January 2024, we'll give away, we'll buy you a T-shirt from the Spurs Club shop. At the end of the season, the person who comes top of the league, it doesn't count us three because Perchy is still top, but it doesn't matter if other players get involved. Sorry, Perch, you get a microphone instead. Then the person who wins, who's top at the end of the season, will get another prize. We don't know what it is yet, but just take part. Just DM us or go on to Reddit and tell us what the next score is going to be, which is Fulham. It's not just the Premier League; it's for all games. Let's read out another question. Jalafinho 2743 on Reddit asks, "What is the best shape for chicken nuggets? Like Mackie shapes or even the dinosaurs? Dinosaur seems to be a theme. Flavouring, original or a little spicy?" Ross, over to you.
I'm trying to think what my boy would say. I think he'd go McDonald's shape. It's a shame he's not here. He's quite a nugget expert. So yeah, I'm going to go by what my 10-year-old son would say, and that'd be McDonald's. Your standard McDonald's shape. I think once you start going into dinosaur shapes, it's getting too fancy. You're getting too fancy.
And JRocco12 on Reddit asks, if you could add anything or attach anything to the stadium, what would it be? Perchy.
Add something to the stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, make it. I don't know. Just bring it back to make it look like old White Hart Lane.
I think it does. I don't know. I had this. I mean, I had this feeling that it sort of does. It reminds me of the old White Hart Lane in a weird way. Yeah, for me, I don't know. Maybe it's the asymmetricity of it. I don't know what it is, but
I know what it is. What they need to do: put back the lettering on the seats. None of this crappy, just blue stuff. I want to see the Cockcrawl at the south end, THFC on one, something on the like. Make it Tottenham again. It's just a stupid stadium without Tottenham. Ran over. There you go. I got well into that one, didn't I? Bloody hell.
And Ross?
Oh, Perchy. What would I bring back?
You don't have to bring something back. You can add anything or attach anything.
Add as well. Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'd add better bloody Wi-Fi in the bloody stadium. The stadium that costs £1 billion. Better Wi-Fi. Just good Wi-Fi. I mean, come on, Daniel. Come on. Put some decent good Wi-Fi. Really good Wi-Fi. Top of the range stuff that all 62 odd thousand can get easily without having to fanny around. I know you don't want people on their phones, but come on.
Right, so what I would do, this is where you guys fill in the air again. So good at it.
Nope.
Right, so what I would do is in the north stand, I would try to fit in 17,150 seats, and that would take us to 80,000 as a capacity. And then what I would do is people who have been coming to the games, not as season ticket holders, but who have shown loyalty, and it's really easy to work that out, okay, because I've bought a certain amount of tickets and your details are in a database. Then I would have concessions there for senior citizens and for kids, and for parents who can prove that they're basically on either some sort of support or whatever, and give them extremely low ticket prices. I'm talking in the region of so if a family of 4 went, it would cost 50 quid. And that's what I would do, because I think that we would then have a future at Tottenham with fans who were in and around the area, who then could go to the stadium, no problem. And everyone would be happy. So let's move on to the Fulham preview. I think we're going to win. I'll give you my prediction right now. I think we're going to win 3-0. It's at Craven Cottage, right? Yeah. I think the scorers are going to be Udogie. I'll write this down. Udogie, Richarlison, and I've got a feeling that Højbjerg's going to score. Perchy, what do you think?
We're going to win 3-1. Son's going to get a couple, and I'm going to go. I'll give it Lo Celso. There you go.
Lo Celso. Okay, and that's Perchy. And you guys can take part as well. All we have to do is DM us or just go onto Reddit and find the what's it called. I'll add the link to the description. What about you, mate? Go on, Ross, tell us.
I'm going for 3-1.
Yep.
Scarlett, Son, and Bissouma.
So you've just said 1-3, Scarlett, Son, and Bis.
I'm not letting this Scarlett thing go. I still think he should just play.
Fair enough. Now let's be realistic. Do you think that we can go there and win?
Yeah, I think we've got enough. It depends how much Fulham care about it. I mean, they've started off the season okay-ish, I think. I know they got the draw against Woolwich at the weekend, but it depends where their priorities lie. They're very mid-table-y, so maybe they will sort themselves out and look to cause an upset, I suppose, if it is called an upset. But
it would be, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we normally do all right there, though, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what type of team they put out. I know that their young defender's not training with them at the minute. The one that was linked with us and he wants to go to Monaco, he's not training with them because he wants to leave. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what team they put out.
Perchy?
Yeah, listen, I think team-wise, I think he's gonna. I just don't want to see mass rotation. Really, just get 3 or 4 in. But I'm excited for tomorrow.
Would you play Richarlison?
No.
Really?
I want us to win. No.
You want us to win?
Yeah.
So why would you play him in the league and not the Carabao Cup?
No, I think I saw the light the other day. I saw the light. I saw the light on Saturday. He's awful. He's not very good. But listen, I wouldn't be against. I'm not going to die on that hill, but I want to see a bit of something different, right? Son down the middle, Perisic on the left, maybe Solomon on the right. Something a bit different, right? That's what I like to see.
Yeah, I think there'll be just a few changes. I can see Richarlison playing. I think Solomon will play, possibly Perisic. Son, Kulusevski, Maddison will get a rest. I can see Lo Celso coming in, Højbjerg coming in, Skip coming in. So I think we'll have a completely different midfield, which I don't agree with, by the way. I don't agree. If that happens, I don't agree with it. I know that the manager needs to see them play, but the problem is, if we lose, we're out, right? So it's 90 minutes where you can't really risk, and we have to go for a cup. I'd much rather get the FA Cup, but you know we're going for 3 trophies this season. I think we're going to win one of them, which is a big one. But I would rather Bissouma was still there pulling the strings, and then maybe you had Lo Celso and Højbjerg, because Skippy has already played this season. At the back, I would. Udogie, is it Udogie? I can't. Yeah, I think it's Udogie.
Udogie.
I would have him playing. I would also have Vicario. On the right, I would have Emerson, and I would probably keep our centre backs as they are until we had a 1 or 2 goal lead, and then I would. Hopefully, we did that and we really went at them. So you start off with a fairly strong side, and then we can switch it out if we're. What was my score prediction? My score prediction was that we're going to win 3-0. So if we're winning 2-0 or nearly 3-0, then yeah, then you can swap out the centre backs after that. So we have the last question from Hot Choco on Reddit. It's got 3 questions actually. Number 1, and Ross, this is to you. Who's the best looking lad in our squad in your opinion?
Oh, I don't know. Mickey, it's Mickey, isn't it?
It
He's
is.
so fine. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
Yeah. I think so. I think he's the best looking guy. He's fast as well, so you know, in and out.
Really fast.
Yeah. Question 2, Perchy's for you. If you could bring back one player to the team, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, good question. Good question. I'm gonna go Harry Kane. Harry Kane. We need goals, right? Bring back the best goal scorer we've had. Let's bring him back. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. It's a bit boring, but let's go with that. I think in this team he'd scored loads of goals. So many.
Right, and Ross, third question is 4 questions. Confession time. Is there any player from rival teams that you're a fan of? Rival teams, that would be West Ham, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Yeah, oh God, I was hoping to say Man City.
No, not rivals. Not until we win the league and they start bitching and trying to do a Poznan, and we throw eggs at them.
It's hard to know what players Chelsea have got at the minute. It's a weird little team. Arsenal, yeah. Oh,
It's got to be Saka, mate.
It's
It's got to be Saka. Yeah.
It's
got to be
Saka.
Because wow, what a player! Right, let's just be honest.
He is really good, and he has to be Saka. I was trying to think of any strikers that we could nick, but neither team have a striker.
No, exactly.
Saka, it has to be Saka. Yeah,
Question 4 for me: would you rather be a ball or a boot? Now, I thought about this when I play football. Those who have played football with me know that I have. This might sound weird, but I've one of the hardest shots probably in the world. I have, for some reason, huge muscly legs. I'll take when you guys meet me, you'll see. And for some, the fact that I've got size 12 boats as feet means that when I hit a ball and if I hit it cleanly, I've put goalkeepers in hospital on more than 4 occasions. So I don't want to be the boot because I know what my boots can do. But I would love to, if the ball was sentient and I was kicking it, I would want to know, would it be the kind of ball that said, I want to get out of the way of this, like some footballers do, especially when you're playing 5-a-side or 8-a-side or 11-a-side. You see some people like jumping out of the way, like, especially those who know me. It's so funny when I go to take a shot, and then I learnt to dummy. So I go to take a shot and they'll like duck. So I'll just dummy and go around them. And so I want to be the ball. I want to see what kind of ball that is. And if it was me and I knew that I was about to hit it, I'll probably get out of the way as well. So that has been the Fighting Cock. I'm kidding. That's been Hotspur Way. I'm glad you liked it. We're going to be on again this week after the Fulham game, and we're going to preview the Burnley game where we smash them, go top of the table. We're going to look back at the Fulham game, which will be interesting, and we're going to catch you all later. Oh, someone just did leave a question right now on Reddit. I know, just now it just popped up, and the question is, before we go, oh, where is it? I just saw it. Who would win in a fight, Romero or Maguire? I can answer that because I'm a big boxing fan, and Dubois was so unlucky. I was watching it. I was so frustrated. That was ridiculous. It was like watching Eurovision, an exhibition Eurovision match, right? Honestly, well, that stupid singer. I don't know if any of you watched it. If you were allowed to only hit the other person in the head, Maguire would win because Romero would be absolutely knackered and would just fall down dead. If he just kept punching Maguire all day in that head of his, the guy wouldn't feel a thing. If you're allowed to like MMA shit, probably, yeah. I mean, he would just scissor him, take him out completely, and I think Romero would win. You guys?
Romero beats Maguire. Done.
I think so.
Romero's a nutter.
Romero does some boxing as well. I don't think Maguire is in a state of mind at the minute to take kind of tactics on boxing wise, and I think Romero would just destroy him.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. So we've been going for nearly 80 minutes, which is a really long time. And so I think that's it, guys. We're going to see you during the week, and it's been beautiful. It's been lovely, and really looking forward to more of your questions. We had quite a few in today, and it made the show quite different. Mate, what is that? Have you got a parrot in the background?
What was that? I heard that. What was it?
I don't know. Ross, is that you?
Don't know what it was. I heard something.
It sounds like there's a parrot in the background who every now and then repeats a few words. It sounds really weird. The Hotspur Way parrot. We'll call him. As in Cyprus, every parrot you see is called Gogo. I don't know why. So we're going to call the Hotspur Way parrot Gogo. And with that, guys, love you loads, and we will see you later.
Peace out.
Cheers.